Okay, I'm doing this talking vids again where I'm kind of talking about stuff like, you know, which is kind of cringy when I watch it back. I'm like, but cringy is real though. It's like, you watch like episodes of Law and Order or Criminal Minds and you go, whoa, that is so insane. Man, it's so terrifying. That guy is so creepy and terrifying. But you go, but that guy is based on a real character. A lot of stuff is based on like real people. Yeah, man is capable of really crazy stuff. Yeah, that's just how it is. Merle. Yeah, it's weird kind of thing. So you kind of understand. Yeah. So when you talk about, trying to say stuff about people, and then when it sounds kind of weird and cringy and kind of like I'm being pessimistic and kind of mean, but it's the truth. The truth as I see it, and it's pretty much the truth. I mean, I've worked around people a lot, so it's like, if you work in a job where you're around people all the time, you start to get to know and understand people. It's like, Diana Fossey working around with gorillas. She understood them because she was around them all the time. So you start to understand them. You start to figure them out. The more you're around them, the more you figure them out. But sometimes, we can be around people and we just, we'll figure them out. Because people hide a lot of things, or they think they are. But so the best way to get to know people is to read their body language, because people don't to hide that, because they don't think that people can read their body language. It's like, usually we say more with our body language than we do with our mouths. So I think the real us is what we do instead of what we say. We can say any kind of craziness. It doesn't really make us who we are. I don't think so. I think what we do makes us who we are more so. So, I mean, there's a lot of people I've met who kind of seem kind of mean and kind of say kind of crazy stuff, and they end up being one of the most decent people I've ever met. And vice versa. You see people who don't say much, but inside their heads they end up being serial killers or something. Or they do become, not just in their head. They just, it's always the quiet ones. They always say, we're so quiet. And they always seem nice. See. Usually the angry ones are the ones who care too much. It's like you're caring way too much, your son. It's like, yeah, I get it, you care. You care too much. I'm like that sometimes. When I get angry about things, because I'm just... Actually, but I don't. But it's like, if it's in my face all the time, and then you get kind of annoyed with it, you kind of go, enough of this, man. I don't have to deal with this. Does this have to happen every day, for the rest of my life? The way people are. That kind of the stuff that you hate about people. It's always there. They always will be that way. And it's not in one person. It's in another. You could teach someone. Go, well, that's kind of annoying. That's kind of But then they okay, I'm sorry. I won't do that more. And so they're better people now. They won't do it and they understand. But then you always get someone else who's you gotta teach again. It's like you can't just change everybody. You can't even change anybody. Well, you can try, but will they really change? Even though they say they're changing, are they really changing? Do we ever change? Are we actually, we are who we are, right? It's like we learn things. We're more accepting of new ideas when we're around, early teens, 12, 13, 14. It's usually when we start to like get our own kind of like before that, you're basically learning from other people. So you're watching other people, you're copycatting. We're that by nature. We learn from watching others. Then around adolescence, 12, 13, 14, we stop doing that and we try to become, our own person. Not just copying people, but we try to create our own ideas and what we likes. Our taste in music. That's when I started to play guitar. So it wasn't like everybody I know is playing guitar. I just took it as a class because it seemed like an easy something that I would want to do to try to pass. Because I was thinking sewing, and I didn't want to. That was something I was never really interested in. And I like music, so I thought maybe I'll play guitar. Just try guitar in the class, not because I want to keep playing it or I want to know how to play it. I just figured I would actually try in that class a little bit more than other classes. But then when I started playing, I figured I enjoyed it. I was like, because I wasn't like, oh, I'm gonna play this and enjoy it. I didn't know I was gonna enjoy it, but I played it, and then I saw that, and then I saw I had a creative streak. I could actually, I was writing haikus before that, but then I saw I could actually, coordinate enough to play it. You know, I mean, I was always coordinated in sports, I suppose. But then with music, it's like you sing. When you sing and you play at the same time, you're doing two things at the same time. It's kind of so it works the brain, but it's kind of like it's a challenge but it's good. But you teach your brain how to be kind of. Maybe that's why musicians tend to be more kind of thinking people because they exercise the brain more. So you gotta get a lot of musicians are very kind of. I'd rather believe I'm a musician than any other profession because we try to be honest. We don't. I mean, some of the most honest people I've ever met are musicians. Some of the biggest liars are business people, lawyers, yeah, politicians. But yeah. Why I say musicians are better than others? But we try. Some of us, especially some of us try to be to our own selves, be true. Some of us, I don't know. But I try to be honest. I'm not saying I'm always honest. I don't think I'm a perfect person. I don't think, I can be like, well, you should be nice to people. I'm not always nice to people. I'm not always in the mood to be nice to people. Why? Because I'm not because sometimes I'm like, I don't think people deserve that because people just don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Because, I mean, people do crazy stuff to each other and they do. It's like our biggest threat is like viruses, bacteria, and people. So sometimes I'm not in the mood to want to be generous to people. Not that I'm not generous. I would be generous to people. That's why I like to be around good people. Because good people, then I want to be generous towards them. I want to be, But then you get kind of older and you kind of go, I don't really feel people deserve goodness and generosity. I don't know if everybody thinks like that. Probably every once in a while, I think we all think that way. But then we gotta go, well, we gotta overcome that and just kind of we need goodness in the world. We gotta show goodness for other people to learn from it. I guess so. Yeah. So what was I saying? Yeah, I was saying how when I say certain things on these videos, it's like I say how I feel, but I can change my mind on it. 1 minute I can feel like, yeah, I really hate the world and I hate people, but then the next minute I can be like, well, I don't really hate people. I just kind of say that because sometimes at some moments I feel that way, but it's not really who I am. So yeah, getting the moods. It's like moods, moods to be this way, moods to be that way. I think we're all like that. Sometimes we're in the mood to be generous, and we're in the mood not to be generous. We it's just who we are, right? There was just one way. Well, especially people like me, I'm like got a creative streak and I'm unique, but a lot of people are just one way who don't have that. There's varying degrees of creativity. Some are more creative than others. It's like varying degrees of anything. You know what I mean? Varying degrees of crazy. Some people are crazier than other crazy. There's less crazy, then there's more crazy. It's like you're, you're a serial killer psycho. And you're pretty crazy. And then it's like, you're just kind of like a barky dog, like the bark. You seem a little, you're not as crazy as the serial killer, but you're still a little bit crazy. Not as much as the other guy, but it's like, that's the same thing with creativity. You're more creative than that guy. The Beatles were more creative than most of the musicians there. They were right there, and some other people were just a little lower. You get Beethoven was creative up. He's up there with whatever. you know, master like the Beatles and Beethoven and Gilbert and Sullivan. You know, they're all like up there. You know, I mean, there's a lot of very creative people in music that it's just like they were just born to be creative and they were great at, especially music like Freddie Mercury and Brian May, talented, and Jimmy Page and Robert Plant. You know, but the whole band was great. I mean, they put Tom Bonham on the drums. But I mean, like as writers, you know, songwriters, yeah, you know, John Lennon, Paul McCartney, you know, who else? Elvis Costello. You know, they're all up there. They're all genuinely creative and very good at what they do. You know, and just, who else? I think like genuinely just great. Ian Anderson from Jethro Tull. He's one of those guys who just he used to do all the writing for the band, but he's very creative guy, talented songwriter. Well, so I see it's not really a lot. I can't really say a lot. Sting, he's up there. Sting, Roger Waters. You know, I think David Gilmour's up there as a guitar player. I don't. He's as great a writer as Roger Waters, but especially lyric writing, Roger is the better one.